Red Bull Racing is currently going through a phase that nobody could have predicted. The team, which was once known for its unity and dominance, is now full of confusion and problems. The surprising part is that Max Verstappen, the team's most successful driver, seems to have taken a stand that goes against his own team and even his team principal, Christian Horner. This has left fans, media and people inside the sport in shock. The issue began when Max Verstappen liked an Instagram post made by former Formula One driver Guido van der Garde. The post criticized Red Bull for how they treated Liam Lawson, the young driver who was recently removed from the Red Bull seat after just 2 races in the 2025 season. The post called Red Bull's decision closer to bullying than a professional sports judgment. Van der Garde talked about how hard Lawson had worked to reach Formula One and how unfair it was to take away his opportunity after such a short time. When Verstappen liked that post, it sent a message. It told everyone that even Max, the team's star, was not happy with what was going on. This act might seem small, but in the world of Formula One, every little sign matters. Verstappen's like confirmed what many had been suspecting, that he was unhappy with the team's direction and their recent decisions. The connection between Max Verstappen and Red Bull has always been seen as strong, but now that bond looks weaker than ever before. The problems didn't start here. They go all the way back to 2024, when Christian Horner was accused of inappropriate behavior. Since then, it's been clear that something is not right inside the team. Max Verstappen is known for being focused and private. He rarely makes public comments that go against his team. So for him to support a post that directly criticizes the people managing Red Bull, that says a lot. It shows that he's frustrated, maybe even angry. He's not just upset about Lawson being dropped. He's also unhappy with the team's overall situation. The car is not performing well. The team seems to care more about changing drivers than fixing the car's issues. And that is not what a top team should be doing. Liam Lawson's removal came just 2 races into the season. Many people, both fans and experts, were surprised. Even though Lawson himself admitted that his performances were not good enough, most believed he deserved more chances. He is a talented driver who worked hard to get to Formula One. Replacing him so quickly felt like a rushed decision. People inside the paddock, including names like David Coulthard and Guenther Steiner, tried to convince Red Bull to give him at least one more race. Suzuka, the next race, is a track Lawson knows well. It would have been a fair chance, but the team declined. Christian Horner said that the team's decision was based on protecting Lawson's future. He claimed that sending him back to the Racing Bulls team would help him develop better. But many people, including former drivers and insiders, didn't buy that explanation. They saw it as a panic move. Red Bull was acting like a team that had lost control, and Verstappen's reaction only added fuel to that fire. It's not just about liking a post. Verstappen also made comments during the Chinese Grand Prix. He said that the car this year is extremely hard to drive. He even said that if Liam Lawson were driving the Racing Bulls car, he would be faster. That's a huge statement. It shows that Verstappen doesn't believe the problem is Lawson's skill, but rather the Red Bull car itself. He also said that the gap between drivers at other teams is smaller than the gap at Red Bull, suggesting that the car is not behaving consistently for different drivers. Max Verstappen's support for Lawson seems to come from a deeper frustration. Red Bull has gone through several drivers since Daniel Ricciardo left in 2018. None of them have lasted very long. Alex Albon showed promise for a while, Sergio Perez was a good short-term option, and Daniel Ricciardo came back for a second run, but none of them could stay in the team long-term. And now Liam Lawson has joined that list. He's one of the fastest drivers Red Bull had in their junior program, and yet he wasn't given a real chance. The decision to bring Yuki Tsunoda into the Red Bull seat instead of Lawson has created even more questions. Tsunoda is experienced and has been improving, but many still feel Lawson was the better long-term choice. Red Bull's treatment of him has caused many to question what the team really values. Do they want consistency and growth, or are they making decisions out of fear and pressure? Tsunoda is now the latest driver to try and succeed in the difficult second Red Bull seat. It's a position that has broken the confidence of many talented drivers. Verstappen is one of the most naturally gifted racers in the sport, and the car is built around his driving style. That makes it even harder for a second driver to adapt. Tsunoda had a strong start to 2025 despite poor team performance. He scored points in the sprint race in China, finishing ahead of a Mercedes and a McLaren. That's a good sign, but whether he can survive the full season is another matter. The reality is that Red Bull has not managed to build a second seat that helps new drivers grow. They keep putting drivers in and taking them out without giving them time to adjust, and that strategy has failed repeatedly. Verstappen may be winning races, but the rest of the team is falling apart. The way Red Bull handled Lawson is just one part of a bigger problem. Many insiders say the team is in chaos. Some say the leadership is weak. Others think the team is more focused on media and politics than racing. The recent internal drama involving Christian Horner has only made things worse. People have lost trust in the leadership, and Verstappen's silent protest is one more sign that even the star driver is losing patience. Liam Lawson's case shows how tough Formula One can be. Yes, it's a sport where performance matters, but it's also a sport where timing, trust, and support make a big difference. A driver needs more than just 2 races to prove himself, especially in a car that is difficult to drive and not fully reliable. Verstappen's defense of Lawson is not just about friendship or loyalty. It's about fairness. It's about how young drivers are treated in the sport. It's also about how decisions are made in a team that's supposed to be one of the best. Red Bull has always talked about developing talent, but their recent actions show something else. Verstappen didn't have to like that Instagram post. He didn't have to say anything about the car, but he did, and that's important. He's sending a message that the team needs to stop making rash decisions. They need to focus on the car, fix the problems, and support their drivers better. Because if they don't, they risk losing the one person who has kept them on top, Max Verstappen himself. There are now serious questions about Red Bull's future. Will they be able to fix the car and regain focus? Will they support Tsunoda long enough for him to grow? And most importantly, will they be able to keep Verstappen happy? Because if Max decides to leave, it could be the end of Red Bull's success story. For now, the team has moved forward with Tsunoda and sent Lawson back to Racing Bulls, but the damage may already be done. The world has seen how Red Bull treats its young drivers. The world has also seen that Verstappen is not afraid to disagree with his bosses when he feels something is wrong. This isn't just about one driver or one post on Instagram. It's about the health of a Formula One team that has been on top for years. It's about whether that team can still work together and stay united under pressure. Red Bull must now prove that it can be more than just Max Verstappen. It must show that it can be fair, smart, and strong, even when times are tough. In the end, fans are waiting to see what happens next. Will Red Bull bounce back, or will the chaos continue? Will Tsunoda rise to the challenge, or will the seat curse strike again? And what will Max do if things don't improve? These are the questions everyone is asking, and the answers will shape the future of Formula One. If we look at how Red Bull has treated its drivers in the past, a pattern starts to appear. The team has always had a very high-pressure environment. Ever since the days of Sebastian Vettel, who won 4 world championships with them, Red Bull has had little patience for underperformance. They expect their drivers to deliver results immediately, and if they don't, changes happen fast. That method worked for a while, but in recent years it has started to backfire. After Daniel Ricciardo left in 2018, Red Bull struggled to find someone who could fill the second seat, next to Max Verstappen. Pierre Gasly was promoted, but he lasted only half a season before being demoted. Alex Albon was next, and he too was removed before the end of his second season. Then came Sergio Perez, who had experience but never looked like a long-term fit. Now Red Bull has turned to Yuki Tsunoda, and the question is, will he be treated any differently? Tsunoda has improved over the years. When he first entered Formula One in 2021, he was inconsistent and made many mistakes. But since 2022, he has become a more stable and competitive driver. He has outperformed multiple teammates and helped his team, Racing Bulls, rise in the midfield standings. Even so, many people think that Tsunoda is only being given this Red Bull seat because the team ran out of other options. That puts a lot of pressure on him from the start. Max Verstappen knows how difficult it is to drive the current Red Bull car. He mentioned in Shanghai that the RB21 is very hard to control and that it requires a special kind of driving style. Not every driver can adapt to it easily.